How do you say full send in electric? Well, Ford says it by saying Eluminator. What does that even mean? It's an old truck on top of a brand new EV. It's a multi-million-dollar SEMA project build, and it's a one-off that I get to get behind the wheel of today. I'm one of the first people outside of Ford to drive this thing. I'm really excited and also very nervous. At Edmunds, we review hundreds of cars, trucks, and SUVs each year, but typically it's new stuff that's just coming to market and competing for your attention and your money. Because of that, we don't really get to talk about old vehicles or resto mods or modifications in general. And that's part of what makes the Eluminator so damn cool. It's a classic vehicle, but with modern underpinnings that definitely are not period correct. It has 2 electric motors, the batteries and a partial interior from the Mustang Mach-E GT, and more than 600 pound-feet of torque. Come on, let's go! Woohoo! Before we get in and drive it, if you want more EV content, more truck content, or just lots of cool reviews, click like and subscribe below. And for a cash offer on your car, you can go to edmunds.com/sellmycar. Come on, you know you want to sell it. Get into one of these. This is a one of one. It's the only vehicle like it out there. And it's built in conjunction with Ford Performance and MLE race cars with a custom chassis from the Roadster shop. It's got 19 by 10 inch wheels at all 4 corners, wrapped in Michelin rubber, and there's a frunk under the hood. There's no engine up here, so you can have storage for your stuff in a truck from the 70s. It's pretty rad. It's also painted in avalanche gray, which is a really nice color with Cerakote copper accents. But honestly, this is enough talking about how it looks. I want to take it out for a drive. So, what exactly is an Eluminator? Well, it's a fun name that Ford came up with to title this a 1978 Ford F-100 with the powertrain underneath of a Mach-E GT Performance. Instead of just one of the 2 crate motors, it's got 2, and it is rocking, woo, 480 horsepower and 634 pound-feet of torque, which is more than a respectable number for any hot rodder. Plus, it's all-wheel drive. So, what is a crate motor? Well, it's kind of what it sounds like, and it normally refers to engines, crate engines that you buy for your resto mod or your modification project or your drag car or for some kind of cool coffee table. But in this case, a crate motor is the electric motor you can buy from Ford. They'll send it to you and you can install it on whatever vehicle you want. Now in this case, they've used 2 of those, which is the same setup as an all-wheel drive Mach-E GT, to make this car shoot right out of the hole. It's so fun to drive. Oh man. You might be asking, who's this for? And I think it's for people like me. I love modifying cars. I've got a 90s Integra that I've spent more money than I care to admit on, and I've been modifying cars for years. Some of my fondest memories from when I was a kid was modifying vehicles with my father, stuff like Impalas and Studebakers, or my uncle's 1965 Ford F-100 that he's owned originally since 1966. He's the first owner. Vehicles like this, I feel like, should stay on the road as long as possible. They've got a lot of character and history too. And if you want to keep them in your family or even in your own personal driveway for decades, gasoline might not be your best option. First of all, it's going to be hard to get one that'll comply with CARB legal standards in California, at least if it's built after 1975. Secondly, you might want something that's more sustainable, which I feel like this is. What I'm saying is, like a lot of people, modifying vehicles feels like it's in my blood. It's something that's been going on in my family for generations, and I don't ever want to stop doing it. And I also don't want the decline of gasoline engines to contribute to me stopping what I love. I want to keep this hobby going. And if we can keep it going for generations because we have electric motors, I'm here for it. It'll certainly make your average Sunday morning cars and coffee meetup significantly quieter, but you won't hear any complaints from me. And this thing really does go like stink. I mean, it feels so strange to have all that modern electric power inside something with old iron. It really does. Now, the interior is a bit of a mishmash. Sure, there's panels and things in here from the 78 F-100, but most of it is Mach-E, especially this massive screen that takes over the dashboard, this Mach-E steering wheel, even though it has F-100 crudely stickered on there, and this Mach-E center console and these Mach-E seats. One of the problems I have, though, is that this steering wheel won't go any higher. My thighs just straight up run into this thing, getting in and out of the vehicle and while I'm driving it. It's not a very good driving position. And part of that problem is due in part to the seats. Yeah, sure, it's nice to have heated modern seats, but they're bigger. Those heating elements take up a lot of space, and so it gets me closer to the steering wheel, which doesn't have a lot of adjustable range. There is something, however, you don't get in most modern vehicles, which is, look at all the visibility. So much window space. I love it. And it is surprisingly quiet. Now, because you've got a quiet powertrain, you hear all the wind noise. I mean, I would do some work on the seals. Obviously, this is a SEMA build. It's not production. But my mind is already racing with the modifications I want to do to this vehicle. Nobody in front of us? Off we go. Woo! Oh man, that thing is fast. Another thing about this interior is, with the steering wheel not able to go any higher, I can't see how fast I'm going. It's just straight dive down to that speedometer. It's not great. Is it comfortable? Absolutely. Is it cool to look at? 100%. Is it exactly how I'd do it? Probably not. There's some changes I'd make, but that's what modifying is all about, making it your own. And I love that this vehicle exists. The electric crate motors cost about $4 grand each. Ooh, I like that sound. Which is a decent price, but if you're resourceful, you could probably source an engine swap for your F-100 for less. Now, what do the electric crate motors come with? Glad you asked. You get a high voltage motor to traction inverter harness, you get a low voltage harness connector, and you get the vent tube assembly. But what you don't get is more important. You don't get a traction inverter, you don't get a control system, sounds important to me, and there's no battery. Where am I supposed to get a battery? Honestly, Ford Performance just doesn't have a battery available. So you can buy the motors, but there's nothing to power the vehicle. You're gonna have to source that on your own, at least for now. So maybe you could get them from a salvaged EV, or you could buy a whole nother vehicle and Frankenstein something out of that. But unfortunately, it's not currently part of the program. So who's this vehicle for? Who are electric crate motors for? Well, they could be for you if you want a better driving experience. Sure, I miss the charm of a rumbling V8, but there's no tailpipe emissions coming out here, and this thing is really quiet and smooth on the highway. Plus, it's kind of a cool idea to plug it in Saturday night and go out for a Sunday cruise. You don't even have to stop at a gas station. And if you're looking to modify your vehicle in California, you always have to deal with CARB restrictions, which is the California Air Resources Board, and thankfully, these electric crate motors are CARB legal in all 50 states. So you can pop it in even if your vehicle was built after 1975 and have no emissions problems. Do I want this swap in my own personal vehicle? Not yet, at least not if I have to do the legwork. Sourcing your own batteries would be pretty difficult, as I'm sure a number of YouTubers who've swapped Tesla batteries into other vehicles can attest to. But I'm grateful to people like that. I'm grateful for this program. Same way I'm grateful to the first people that decided to take vehicles and modify them to run away from the police and hide moonshine, because that's how we got NASCAR. Same way I'm grateful to the first person that swapped a Chevy LS engine into a 32 Ford, because the Grand National Roadster show wouldn't be the same without it. And the same way I'm grateful for the first person to turbocharge an Integra, because I didn't want to be the first person to have to figure that out, but I'm glad my car's faster as a result. This is a big moment in car history. Electric crate motors might not be for everybody, but I'll tell you what, if it can expand car culture, if it can give more people access to this kind of fun, I'm all for it.